Hello and welcome to a new episode. We're going to be working on Unit 11, Lessons 3 to 4. You guys are expected to have your notebooks and your pens because we're going to be using them today. Now, our main topic of the day is addiction. I'm not sure if you know what addiction is, therefore, we can look through with more detail as we go along with our slides. Now, anything that you do in excess could be considered an addiction, something that you cannot stop. You're repeatedly doing it over and over again to the extent that it becomes a bit harmful to you. Now, we're going to be looking at our learning objectives. Number one is we're going to speculate about a picture. We're going to look at a picture and try to make an educated guess what it could be about. And we're going to listen to a conversation about addiction. So you need to listen attentively and carefully because you're going to be filling in information about it. And you're going to practice expressing past recommendations and explain a choice in the past and express regret in the past. Now, let's look at this image. We can see a bunch of boys at the back. Obviously, they're laughing at this person or boy in front of them. So maybe could be that they're bullying him. Maybe they're trying to make him feel uncomfortable. So look at the picture and complete the sentences, guys. The boys must have asked. I want you to look at the boy on the left-hand side at the back is holding a cigarette. So do you think maybe the boys must have asked this boy to maybe smoke? What do you guys think? Maybe they asked the boy if he wanted a cigarette. Now, let's look at number 2. Some of them might have blank. Guys, what do you think that some of them might have? Maybe they might have said unkind things to the boy. Maybe they were bullying him because he doesn't want to join them and smoke, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. And the boy could have been friends with the boys in the past. So maybe this boy was friends with the boys standing behind him, and maybe he decided that he does not want to be their friend anymore. Could be. This is just a guess. Now we're going to listen to this tape script between a presenter and Dr. Hamdi, which is basically talking about addiction. So pay attention because we're going to be completing work afterwards. Get ready.
In today's program, Dr. Hamdi is talking to us about how people can become addicted to things. So, doctor, in what ways can addiction start? Well, there are 2 ways that people can become addicted to something. A physical addiction is when your body thinks that it needs something. For example, you may think that you must have a cigarette to wake up in the morning. Your body will think that something is wrong if you do not have that cigarette. It is very hard for people to stop feeling like this. When people who are addicted to smoking try to stop, they can feel very bad. What was the other way that people can be addicted? You can also have psychological addiction. This is when you think that you need something to feel okay. For example, some people are addicted to social networking sites. If they cannot use them, they start to feel unhappy. How do you know if someone is addicted to something, doctor? Sometimes you can see when a person is addicted. For example, if they are smoking all the time, but it is not always easy to see. Watch out for changes in people's habits. For example, a friend might have stopped going to school, or stopped seeing his or her friends, or start being rude to their teachers or parents. They might become angry easily or start to look ill. So, what should you do to help? First, you should try to talk to them. Then, you must tell someone who can help them. For example, a teacher. So, how can you make sure that you do not become addicted to something yourself? You might find your friends or people that you know will try to persuade you to try cigarettes, drugs, or other things. If people ask you to try something that you don't want to try, don't be afraid to say no. Remember that people who say no are strong, not weak. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, guys, now you may listen to it one more time in order to answer the following questions. Let's look at the questions together. How do some people feel if they try to stop smoking? Now, we can carefully listen to the audio one more time.
In today's program, Dr. Hamdi is talking to us about how people can become addicted to things. So, doctor, in what ways can addictions start? Well, there are two ways that people can become addicted to something. A physical addiction is when your body thinks that it needs something. For example, you may think that you must have a cigarette to wake up in the morning. Your body will think that something is wrong if you do not have that cigarette. It is very hard for people to stop feeling like this. When people who are addicted to smoking try to stop, they can feel very bad. What was the other way that people can be addicted? You can also have psychological addiction. This is when you think that you need something to feel okay. For example, some people are addicted to social networking sites. If they cannot use them, they start to feel unhappy. How do you know if someone is addicted to something, doctor? Sometimes you can see when a person is addicted. For example, if they are smoking all the time, but it is not always easy to see, watch out for changes in people's habits. For example, a friend might have stopped going to school, or stopped seeing his or her friends, or start being rude to their teachers or parents. They might become angry easily, or start to look ill. So, what should you do to help? First, you should try to talk to them. Then, you must tell someone who can help them. For example, a teacher. So, how can you make sure that you do not become addicted to something yourself? You might find your friends or people that you know will try to persuade you to try cigarettes, drugs, or other things. If people ask you to try something that you don't want to try, don't be afraid to say no. Remember that people who say no are strong, not weak. Thank you, doctor.
Now let's look at exercise 3. How do some people feel if they try to stop smoking? They usually feel very bad if they try to stop smoking because it's difficult. Number 2, how do some people feel if they cannot use social networking sites? Let's say you wake up in the morning and you want to open up one of your social media networks and you can't for some reason. What would happen to you? Maybe you'd start to feel unhappy, right? Because that's maybe a kind of addiction that most people have nowadays. Let's look at number 3. Who might people be rude to if they're addicted to something? So the closest people are the people that someone might get rude with. So it could be teachers or even parents. Number 4, how might people look if they're addicted to something? If people are addicted to something, they may look a bit ill or they may look different. Number 5, what should you do if people try to ask you to try something you don't want to try? What should you do if that happens? Well, you should not be afraid to say no and to stick up for yourself. Question 6, are you strong or weak if you say no to people who are addicted to something? You are definitely strong if you say no to people. Okay, now I want you guys to work in pairs and use the expressions from the function box. So let's look at the function box first. We have 3 options, expressing past recommendations, or explaining a choice in the past, or expressing regret in the past. So now let's look at how we can express past recommendations. Let's say I went to a restaurant and I tried their pasta and I didn't like it. So I was telling my friend might say something like this: I think you should have tried the pizza last night. In that case, this person is expressing past recommendations. They're expressing something that you could have done but did not do. Let's look at the second example in the function box. You shouldn't have drunk so much coffee yesterday. So that means we're expressing past recommendations. It's something that you cannot change, but maybe you should have done. Explaining a choice in the past. Let's look at the example. I really didn't want to eat pizza. It's not healthy. I wasn't interested. Thanks. So this is to explain a choice that you had in the past. You can say, I really didn't want to eat pizza. It's not healthy. So you're explaining your choice. And the last example in the functions box is expressing regret in the past. I really shouldn't have smoked that cigarette because it's unhealthy or because it hurts my lungs. So the function box can help you with working in pairs. So let's look at number 1, exercise 4. You love eating pizza. You want to know why your friend didn't try a new kind of pizza at the restaurant last night. You didn't eat pizza last night because you want to be healthy. Let's look at exercise 2. You love computer games. You want to know if your friend tried a new game online. In that case, you might say, you tried the new game online, but you did not enjoy it because it was too difficult. So guys, I want you to practice your own expressions to express past recommendations or explain a choice in the past or even express regret in the past. If we look at the bubbles, the speech bubbles on the right-hand side, we can read it together. You should have tried the pizza last night. I really didn't want to. It's not healthy. So you can always express past recommendations, like if you tell someone that they should have done something that has already passed, or you can explain a choice in the past, such as why you did or didn't do something, or even express regret in the past, like I shouldn't have done that, or he shouldn't have done so. Guys, for more information about the dangers of smoking, please scan the QR code using your mobile phones and read about the dangers of smoking. Now, to wrap up, guys, we were able to speculate about the picture. We were able to listen to a conversation about addiction and also answer questions. And we were able to use different speech expressions to express regret and express our choices regarding something. Hi, guys. It's good to see you all. We're going to continue our unit, and we're focusing on Unit 11, Lesson 4. Our main topic is still addiction. So we're going to be going to our objectives of the day. Please bear with me today. Now we're going to talk about addictions, and we're going to write about addictions and possible solutions. So we will talk and we will write. Let's look at Lesson 4, Unit 11, Exercise 1. I want you to look at the 4 images that you guys see, and I want you to tell me which of the following do you think you can become addicted to. So, for example, if I speak about myself, I enjoy 2 things from the images here. Definitely the coffee. I enjoy drinking coffee, and sometimes I have a lot of coffee, and in that case, maybe I might be addicted to it. If we look at the upper right-hand side, we'll notice that the man is holding his phone, playing games on his phone. I might say that many people are also addicted to using their mobile phones, and therefore it becomes really unhealthy for their brains and for their overall time management and communication and relationships. So we need to think about what we call addiction, or what do we label as addiction. Is it something that we do too much, or something that is affecting our lives and our friends and our family members around us? Now, also the picture on the left-hand side, the top left-hand side, shows someone being offered a cigarette. Can somebody be addicted to smoking or having too much sugar, such as the image on the lower right-hand side? In that case, please consider your habits. Now, let's look at question 2. Why do you think that people become addicted to these things? Now, we're going to read, they just can't stop. Some people become addicted to using social networking sites. At first, they use them just to send messages to their friends and to find out what their friends are doing. However, some people need to check their social networking sites all the time. If they do not check them, they will begin to worry or to feel unhappy. The best way to help these people is to suggest that they only use social networking sites for about half an hour. Suggest that they phone their friends instead of sending them messages. Encourage them to play a sport or make something instead of looking at their mobile phones. So why do you guys think people become addicted to these things? Do you think maybe it gives them temporary happiness or excitement? Or maybe they just got used to doing it as a habit? Let's consider this. Now, let's look at number 3. How easy would it be for you to never do or try any of these things? So do you think it's easy for you to stop using your mobile phone too much, or to use too much sugar, or to, in that case, maybe stop smoking or avoid smoking? Do you think it's easy for you to do that? Or it's easy for you to not try any of these things? Think about it. Consider how you feel about that. Now, for our student project of the day, guys, you are expected to scan this code to find out about one of the things in exercise 1, or about something else that people can be addicted to. So we're going to scan the QR code and read about different kinds of addiction. And then we're going to find information and make notes why people can become addicted and what problems this might cause, how we can help them to stop. And then I would love for you to make a poster or a PowerPoint presentation, or even a magazine article about the problem. Feel free to refer back to the lesson for more details. Now, guys, thank you for today. This is Ms. Sarah Bassioni. I was with you today. We spoke about addictions and we got to gather as much information as we can. Hopefully, we would all stay away from addiction. Have a wonderful day.